Looks like a bat. Oh boy, that must hurt.
Holy crap, I got some major error. How I went from that top all the way down to here. I thought for sure, well, heck, it's made for that. It has to be. Nope. Just like Sony. Only made for digital.
That's a big one.
You know, Sony is the biggest freaking joke anymore. I have literally supported Sony since I was just a little kid, and I'm in my mid-30s now. I have been with them since the very first console. And how do they, you know, repay me and my loyal service as a customer? Shit, I could have bought a house. I could have paid 3 cars with what I've spent with them knob-licking foreigners. Yeah, and that's how I look at it. Nah, you know, I don't dislike foreigners as a whole, but that just shows you can't trust them. As Americans, we should only trust our own people when it comes to business and building our own things. Just, that's what it shows me. They didn't, you know, and when they give that statement, what they did, they didn't even address us. It was a meeting for all their shareholders and the people that have stock in their company. It wasn't even for us. Okay, so I cannot repair it. I think Japanese people are actually pretty awesome culture, but I think as foreign companies go, I don't think we can trust them. Any of them, for that matter. Especially these game companies, any of them. Yeah, hell, even the ones here, I guess, when it comes down to it. They're no freaking good is what they are. You know, like, I'm not saying that I'm special and that, you know, I deserve to have this special treatment, but I'm not the only one that wants physical disc games to remain. Hey, you know what amazes me, in all honesty? The fact that I have to even talk about it. I would think that people would like to own everything that you own that's very important to you. Your home, your car. Would you satisfy with a digital version of it? I mean, of course not. You can't ride a digital car or live in a digital home. But you wouldn't settle for it. But you'll settle for these knob-licking son of a guns. Literally screwing you over. As their customer, you should have a right to choose. You shouldn't be forced. You know what this does? It makes it to where Sony does not have to, one, now they don't have to, you know, subcontract, or they make the Blu-ray disc, but they don't have to, you know, deal with people as far as shipping their games to these places to sell and then split. You know, they get so much of the game and then Sony gets their cut. They don't even want to do that now. They want to keep it all. You know, I always, maybe I'm wrong, but I always remember hearing growing up that having a monopoly, I thought having a monopoly was illegal in our country. Well, of course, they're Japanese, right? I forgot. That was oversight for a second there. That doesn't apply to them, does it? I honestly wish that our president, our country, would say that's fine. You do not want to meet what millions of customers want, fine, but you're not going to sell your piece of shit here in our country. That's what I wish would happen. Of course, it's not going to happen. The only, like I've heard about this blackout that people are planning where they want to go like a week, turning off your PlayStation and all that. It's not going to help. I've thought about joining, and I even said I would join it, actually, but now I'm thinking about it, and is it going to help? No. I play for my PlayStation 5. I think I should use it whenever I want to. Might as well now, because it'll be the last one I ever own. And you're probably thinking, well, you're just saying that because you're mad. No, I'm not just saying that. Yeah, I'm mad. But I'm not just saying it because I'm mad. I'm saying it because I buy physical disc games. I actually like to own. What do I consider ownership? Well, I consider ownership something I can actually grab in my hand and hold physically, not a freaking code that can be taken away if Sony loses the license for it, just like they took away those 500 movies that people had paid for it and never even refunded them for it. It is no different. I tell you, man, I really do not understand people this day and time. And the thing that makes me mad about it, I work a job. I work hard. And like I said, I spend a lot of money on gaming. Not as much probably as people who have endless funds, but I spend a lot. I could probably afford to go on a I don't even get to go on vacation because living expenses gone up. But if I quit gaming, I could probably afford to literally go on a vacation. I'm really, for the first time in my life, literally considering actually just quit gaming and just play what I have. Maybe buy some more PlayStation 5 games because I know there's tons that I've never got around to buying. And I got a lot of good games. I'd hate to miss out on the new ones, but what choice do I have?
Sam, it's Tarman. This order calls for the delivery of some specialized medical equipment. West Fort Knott is the only place nearby with the facilities capable of fabricating it. Unfortunately, the DHV Magellan can't assist with transport. The risk of tar contamination is too great, which means you'll need to take it the overland route. It's a lot to lug all the way to East Fort Knott, but there we are. Hook them up to the network once you're there, and we'll move the ship to your position.
Order accepted. Thank you. get going then.
Oh no, will I make it? Come on, you can do it, Ford. Come on. Oh! Come on, you piece of crap. Must be made by Sony. Come on. Oh! That was a save, buddy. I tell you, people. More we progress into the future, I swear the more just shit pisses me off anymore. And yeah, I have to use those kind of words. I don't really honestly care at the moment. They've taken so many things from me that I love. You know, like forcing politics in the movies and shows. Okay, fine. I stopped watching. Right? Let the people who like it watch it. You know, all the liberal stuff, all that stuff. You know, I don't agree with it. But I'm not, you know, and just Sony, like, literally, like, taking away our ability to be able to buy physical games. I honestly can't believe it. And it's just like literally nothing a person like me can do about it. The only thing that I can literally do is just stop spending my money with it. You know, I might build a PC. I'm not sure exactly. Yeah, probably. You know, as far as new games go, I'll go the PC route. I mean, if digital only is the only future that we have in gaming, I mean, I don't see I have much choice. But considering that I support actually people who want to own their games physically, I'd be damned if I'm going to spend a penny with Sony at this point. And you know, I'm not seeing. You know what the sad thing is? Like, you hear about this blackout and these boycotts that people are planning, and I know probably 3/4 of the people that are talking this crap will not even follow through with their own stuff that they're talking about doing. Give them half a year. They'll break and they'll buy the PlayStation 6 anyway. And say they didn't. Not me. I'm not that kind of person. I have my faults. I'm not perfect. But by God, when my mind has made a decision about something, I'm an Aries. And read the definition of an Aries. When I make up my mind about something, I'm done. I don't go back. And I have been with Sony literally since the PlayStation 1. I don't even want to know how much money I've probably spent with their company. Enough I probably could have literally paid for a house. And that's pitiful, now that I think about it. But I've literally probably spent that much money. And all people like me were asking for was just the right to have a fucking disc drive on our console so we could own our games physically. Also, what? So Sony can not have to, you know, sell it to other stores so they get more of a cut. So, I mean, so what? So people can't buy used games and maybe get a little bit better of a deal.
Anytime now.
Guess the only thing you can do at the same time is vote with your wallet, huh? I just know this, they'll never get my money again. And that's a little win. Not much of a win, but it is a win. That's what I'll do. I'll build a PC. As far as exclusive, you know, big time games that come out that I follow, like Death Stranding here, well, you know, I think they're on computer, and if they're not, well, just so be it. I just won't play them. I'll just play the ones I already own on PS5. But I'm going to be very, what's the word? I'm going to slow down. how many games. I don't buy a ton, but I'm going to even slow down on that. I'm just going to literally follow the games that I have followed, you know, for decades now, that have sequels and so on. Yeah, I'll follow those. But anything else, nope, not me. Let's see, attach coffee.
Let's get a move on.
Sony, just like the people that watch these videos, watch for 2 seconds and get right off. I heard people say that people buy digital because they think, oh, you know, they don't have the physical game in stock. Well, you can order it on Amazon. Well, some people say they don't want to go to the store. I mean, but you're too lazy to get in a car and drive to a store. I tell you the truth, like, I'll be honest with you, this is not going to work out the way people think it's going to. No, I mean, I think Sony's going to do just well. Just as well. Maybe they'll lose some customers like myself, but they'll move right on. But I tell you what's going to happen. You're going to have years and years down the line, you're going to have people losing their games because maybe Sony lost the, what do you call it? The licensing, you know, for the games that they sold. Because, you know, when you buy a movie or a game on their things, you can lose them. They just recently took 500 movies that people had bought off their thing. But, I mean, it's a perfect example. And, you know, those people did not get refunds either. Now think about that. But, I mean, there you go. It's a perfect example. I'll tell you another reason, too, Sony's doing this, because they know they have you. You know, gaming, to some people, it is no different than drugs. You will sell anything you have, do whatever you got to do just to get that next game, like Grand Theft Auto 6. I mean, it's no different than a drug. And they know they have these people. Hell, there's a bunch of people that would rather buy GTA 6 than go out on a date with a girl. Guarantee you there's a lot of people like that out there. That's why they don't worry about it. They said that when the person that represents them spoke about the backlash. We understand that people are passionate about gaming, but at the moment we don't see any of the backlash hurting our bottom line. Now think of that statement. The reason they're not overturning their decisions because it's not hurting the money that's coming into their fucking greedy pockets. I tell you what, if I had the money, if I had the backing, I would develop a console that is purely physical. Now, I'm not saying I'm not even saying it would. I don't know how well it would do. To tell you the God's honest truth, I do not know how well it would do. But I think you would have a steady customer basis. All the people that are complaining now that do not like the decisions that Sony and Xbox and, you know, are making, I think they get right on board with you, especially if you could make deals with the gaming companies that, you know, the third-party ones, the ones that make games for Sony and Xbox. You know, I'm not saying it'd be easy, and it would be expensive, but I think it could be done. There'd be a lot of potential in that right now with the way things are going. And then I look at it like this. You know, maybe I should just keep You know, instead of building the PC, maybe I should just buy a bunch of games for the PS5. There's thousands, hundreds, if not thousands of games that I never got to play. You know, just because, I keep up with the ones I follow. And well, unless I'm wrong, it used to be I used to buy a lot more games, but everything's got so much more expensive. It just, you don't have as much money as you used to spend on it. So I got to be very mindful, how I do spend my money more now. But there's nothing stopping me from just saying no. Like, not just am I not buying the PlayStation 6, but I'm not going to continue on with new games at all. It would suck as a gamer. I'm not going to deny it. But sometimes you just have to do what you have to do, and there's more to life than gaming, I can tell you that. Much as I love it, my favorite hobby. That's another thing too. Last thing I'll say on the subject, but that's another thing that makes me mad. The one thing, I can't go. I don't go on vacations because I can't afford to. I don't travel around the world. I can't afford to do that. The one thing that I had, which was always knowing that I could buy a new game that I like, and it would make me happy and content, with how I spent my free time. I would love getting a new game, buying it, the disc version, and adding it to my collection and playing the heck out of it. I used to enjoy that so much. And now they've even took that away. I know pretty much just have to get over it, because there's no overturning their decision. No matter what people say, it doesn't matter. It's literally a waste of time to even try to fight against these people. They have more money, and simply put, they just do not care. People start buying more physical, yeah, they'd care. But until that point, people keep buying more digital. It's just not going to matter. It's simple math. So long story short, I have a pretty big decision to make. It's not a joke. I mean, I'm serious as could be. Like, I got a big decision to make in my life. I've been gaming since I was 5 years old. I'm 34 now, so you can do the math. It's a long time. Makes me feel like an idiot, honestly. If you want to know the truth, all that time supporting their company, buying their games, sometimes even buying collector's editions that I would have been just as fine just buying the standard game, but I bought the collector's edition because I wanted all the extra stuff, and I like to support, Sony or the game studio that made that particular game, and just everything I did, just boom. Some people say, "Oh, you just got to get over it, move on with the times." No, I disagree. Customers' rights. It's not them. They make the games, they sell the consoles, but they should listen. I could see if it was just literally like 4, 5, 10, 20,000 people that were still playing physical games, but it's not. It's millions. Last year alone, they sold 125 million copies of physical games. So, I mean, don't tell me that there's no market for physical games when there clearly is. How can we trust people when they are the ones who are writing the ratio of the, 80% of sales now are digital? I'm not denying that digital sales outbeat physical, but how can I trust them with their numbers? Because they showed on their chart that they're taking DLCs into account, which are mostly purely online content. They're taking games into account that have no physical edition. So how can you see what I'm saying? It's kind of one-sided here. Resident Evil Requiem, the newest Resident Evil game, 36% of its sales were physical discs. So there's no physical market though, huh? I'll be honest. I would rather have, if I decide to continue with gaming, it'll be PC. That way I can have mods. I've never had mods. I mean, besides the few games that have mods, but it's highly restricted on which mods you can use. You know, like I've always wanted to see what that was like. You know, by some accounts, it totally can change a game. How it plays, the features on it. It seems more worth it to me. If some, I mean, because the one thing that always set Sony out was that they had, you know, a disc player on their console was optional, and you could buy physical disc. But since they're going to be totally digital, well, computer's already totally digital. So why would I stay with them? What, to save $200-300? Nah, I don't think so. I'd like to see if I could just literally just quit gaming all around. Just literally quit it. I'd love it if I could just literally just stop. I'm sure I could. It wouldn't be easy, considering how long I've done it for, but I'm pretty sure I could do it. Just find another hobby. And who knows? I might do just that when the time comes. No point to right now. 2028 is the deadline, but we already have games that are before that deadline that aren't even having physical disc editions. So, see, they lied there too. All the physical, the digital only is the 2028 deadline. Well, they're not even following that. So how can you trust people that openly tell you stuff that lie right to your face? I mean, I don't trust people once they've lied to me. Not just once or twice. Once. I'm done with it. Sorry for ranting, guys. Just this really makes me mad. I'm sure some of you understand who support physical disc. I'm sure you understand, or at least I hope you do. And if not, you know what I mean, and you totally support digital, hey, I don't agree with you, but I respect your decision. So, you know. Let's see if I have boots. Well, I do have extra boots. Good. That's the first time that's happened where my boots have literally ran down totally. I usually switch them just before. Hey, look. They're coming apart. I'll be damned. Eventually, if you don't change it, it'll show Sam trying to clean up his feet from being cut up and everything. I watched the video on it. Never had that happen, but wait. Boot clip, there they are. Well, now that's getting total use out of a pair of boots.